Just a couple of days ago, Rockstar Games did what many viewed as impossible. They made an actual announcement related to the next Grand Theft Auto game. Interestingly, still no mention specifically of GTA 6. They did that back in February of 2022 as well, and again now referring to it as just the next GTA. It might be nothing and them just wanting to wait until that trailer to unleash on marketing for this game, including its actual GTA 6 title and logo, but still something to think about. Overall, Rockstar broke social media for a number of hours with genuine shock from everybody. Over 160 million views on just the trailer announcement post alone, trending #1 in 14 countries, and 1 million likes on Twitter. The most liked video game post ever. I think Rockstar holds like 4 or 5 of those. More than 2.5 million likes on Instagram. The hype for this new installment is insane. And over the last few days, we're starting to hear more and more about this game in an official and unofficial capacity. More interesting finds continue to be discovered related to the game's 2022 leaks. Insiders are speaking out with some new information on the game and its development. And just the other day, Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Rockstar, spoke to investors and also conducted a few different interviews touching a couple of times on this behemoth of a game. So definitely a lot to discuss and break down. And, well, as things begin to heat up in the GTA world with some massive announcements coming from Rockstar, it's also beginning to heat up with the highly anticipated urban fantasy ARPG Zenless Zone Zero coming from Oyoverse. Set in the near future, a mysterious natural disaster occurred, which in turn has brought about what's considered the last oasis, a new kind of city that's able to coexist with this mysterious disaster, thanks to mastering technology. Full of unique, chaotic, and diverse factions, you, the player professional proxy, play a crucial role in linking this city with this disaster. Available on PC and mobile with consoles coming soon after the official launch, Zenless Zone Zero features a stylistic art direction, a blend of 2D and 3D anime aesthetics, and a movie-like combat system that is a focus on thrilling players with encounters that feel like a spectacle. To do that, there are various distinct characters with their own set of weapons and skills, giving you the freedom to switch between different combat styles with the many threats we'll face. But the time to experience all of this is now, as the second closed beta of Zenless Zone Zero has gone live. Register today with the link below, as I have already. The process is very simple and straightforward, and don't worry about where you play this, as Hoyoverse plans to make this a seamless cross-platform experience at launch. So jump in today on PC and mobile. Register now with my link for the second closed beta of Zenless Zone Zero. The immediate reaction from the overall gaming community has been just shock, and honestly a lot of people joking over the fact that we finally made it. I know that there's a new trend people showing them from 10 years ago versus now. Just crazy the wait that it has been. Imagine the Elder Scrolls 6 whenever that comes about in a few years. Going to be something similar, not on this scale of course, but we have also seen, I would call it the old guard reacting to news, and this was I guess on Great Britain News. Somebody tagged me at this. I thought it was just, you still have stuff like this here in 2023, which I just find crazy.
Anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 is confirmed. Lewis, it's not a game I've ever played. I think I draw the line at Tetris, if I'm honest.
Yes, and I looked at this and I said, why are you giving me this story? Because it does...
These people don't need to be talking about stuff like this, to be fair. They really shouldn't, especially with their expertise, which is outdated.
Not a game that I've ever played. I have actually played it. My son played it. It was the first game that he had.
Well, it's not appropriate, because isn't it sort of very violent?
It is
sexually
brutal.
Explicit?
It's brutal. People are rewarded for committing random acts of violence.
Well, this should...
I mean, it's such a gross simplification of what GTA is, or gaming in general, because they view almost every single game as GTA, but...
It's basically Black Lives Matter.
Why did you...
I'll leave it at that. I don't even genuinely understand a reaction like that, but that's mainstream media for you, especially with gaming news like this. It's always over the top and ridiculous. There's been so many segments over the years from NBC. It's all these, they do not know anything about gaming. They view gaming as Fortnite, GTA, and I guess I don't even think they know the difference between the two, to be fair. But in regards to GTA 6, getting back on topic in relation to when we're going to see an announcement, I've talked about it before. In that early December, there's a lot of discussion when specifically Rockstar's anniversary was, and I saw people bringing up this. This is the patent for Rockstar Games that was filed all those years ago, 25 years ago, and a lot of people are bringing up the fact that it was actually the date that's brought up, December 1st, 1998. So there's been a lot of attention on the Game Awards, which is December 7th, and that's for good reason, because Jeff Keighley tweeted about the Game Awards right when Rockstar's the big announcement was coming about and everything. So everybody was like, that's very interesting timing. Could we see the debut trailer at the Game Awards? And I think the problem with the Game Awards is just the fact that it would draw attention away from everything else. And I don't think Rockstar would do that, and I don't think Jeff Keighley would want that to happen. But obviously it would draw more eyes to the event overall, so who knows? But it is worth mentioning the fact that Rockstar's founding was December 1st, and I think there's a very good chance that we see a tease maybe leading up to December 1st, and then that trailer, and then again the trailer is just re-premiered later on at the Game Awards. Like, it's already been shown, but they'll show it once more. And I'm sure that based on everything we're hearing, they're going to have a full marketing tour just to get the game out there, get people knowing, hey, it's coming out and blah, blah, blah. So the marketing's going to very much start off right when this trailer debuts. They'll probably have a bunch of advertisements on YouTube, maybe in New York City. That's been some of the rumors and leaks going around as of late. Again, we have heard from Take-Two Interactive. I thought this was hilarious. Speaking to Inverse, Zelnick said Take-Two and its labels like Rockstar always mindful of the competition. We're looking over our shoulders at our competitors. We're terrified at all times. Or we're not doing enough. There's no one who says this is a perfect product. We're really proud of it. Let's take a deep breath, go to the beach. We have to wake up and do it again, the next step. And he continued, this was actually in the past. It needs to be something you've never seen before in relation to GTA 6, and it needs to reflect the feeling that we have about Grand Theft Auto. That's a big challenge for the team. Rockstar's answer is seek perfection, seek nothing short of perfection, and we'll get there. Now, the big thing about a quote like this, I kind of find it it's a little silly, let's be fair, because the rest of this gaming industry, they look up at Rockstar Games. They're at the top of this industry. Even back 10 or so years ago with Grand Theft Auto 5, there were advertisements for Watch Dogs from Ubisoft. This is still hilarious to this day, and I think I posted on Twitter about it just the other day, but you had Watch Dog ads saying, 2 months is enough time in Los Santos, come play Watch Dogs Experience Chicago. Well, it's been 10 years, still millions of people are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Can't say the same for Watch Dogs, but I don't think there's a competitor that touches Grand Theft Auto. I do think, though, reaching 190 million copies, which is what GTA 5 achieved, that's difficult. And perfection with GTA 6, that has to happen to ensure that they can even get close to those heights once more. I don't even know if it's possible, to be fair, just because of how crazy GTA 5 has become as a cultural phenomenon. This is another big thing. Rockstar Universe, and a couple of other Rockstar-related fan websites, they started to tease even before Jason Schreier published his report from Bloomberg that an announcement was coming and a trailer was going to be happening in December. And this is what we talked about, I believe in my last video, we talked about some of their insights that they decided to finally share. They went over the fact that GTA Online, it looks like it's slowing down. They also talked about that the Rockstar's believing going to have this game out sometime in 2025. So more than likely, even if a 2024 date gets announced, we'll see what happens. But it seems like, even from what I've heard, 2025 is when this game is probably going to be launching. Now, Rockstar Universe specifically, they had some other new things to add, and this has been captured by the GTA subreddit. And then another popular YouTuber, TGG, asked, did you hear any more specifics on the future plans for GTA Online? Rockstar Universe responded saying, nothing specific. It'll be a fresh start for everyone, I know that. Your rank won't carry over, and that's kind of been the gist that a lot of us got from it. This isn't going to be something that you're going to be... Everything that you've invested into GTA Online up to this point, unfortunately, it's going to be over. It's a fresh start, new game. I think that's good, to be fair. Maybe there'll be a couple of, like, exclusive cosmetic stuff like that, just to say that you were around in the original GTA Online, you achieved this certain rank. I could see Rockstar doing something like that, but not much more than that. I've heard through the grapevine that next year Rockstar will be utilizing their 5M acquisition, so that may have a part in the next GTA Online. Now, with that said, in regards to 5M, Rockstar's already... Well, Take-Two Interactive already indicated they plan to monetize this further. We're really excited about it. I mean, to be clear, this is a small economic opportunity right now and a small cost. We want to be aware of the consumer and what's going on. Role-playing is happening in two ways. People are playing role-playing servers, but people are watching what they're doing on Twitch. And in the past, Strauss Zelnick, even before this acquisition, was asked about the popularity about these role-playing games, and he said, we don't own them, we don't monetize them. That kind of tells you all you need to know about this. Both are really interesting actual number of people playing is relatively a modest audience. It's in the hundreds of thousands, but the people watching, that's a huge audience. We're interested in our intellectual property is protected. We're also really interested in meeting the consumers where the consumer is. For certain consumers, modding is a really important activity. Finally, people are consuming our intellectual property. We would like to monetize that if we can. We think this gives us an opportunity to do all of the above. And that does make me a little bit nervous with how they're going to monetize that further. I don't know what that means necessarily. Hopefully this isn't something that they add to the GTA Plus subscription service, but we'll see what happens. Now, in regards to GTA Online, I've personally heard some very interesting things that Rockstar was experimenting on a while ago that went nowhere. As far as I understand, like, I heard at one point there was a voiced online character. I think that fell apart. They just didn't go along with that. They may have been like a prototype, but GTA Online, I think that they know that they have to have this amazing out of the gate, and I'm certain that they're going to ensure that that's exactly what that happens, because they've been working on this for the last couple of years. This isn't like GTA 5 in which things were put together right at the end. They've been working on GTA Online for a long time, which also is why it kind of makes sense now that they're shifting their attention away from the current GTA Online and getting ready for the new one whenever that does launch. Now, Rockstar Universe does continue. He actually mentions that Rockstar internally was very upset about the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and I think that makes sense. Remember that February post about the next GTA? I believe that the only reason why that came about was because of the dissatisfaction that so many people had with Rockstar games, especially in regards to the Trilogy Definitive Edition. Also, remember GTA 5 expanded and enhanced and some of the other stuff Rockstar has done lately, which just really pissed off a lot of people. Furthermore, they say that we know a few story details and information on the graphics/mechanics. So the graphics is better than that leak, and much better. The leaks was a very early build. GTA 6 uses the latest version of Rage. It has a new lighting and partial systems never used before in a game. It's going to look great. The next one, it'll be more graphically advanced than Red Dead Redemption 2. This is kind of a given. It uses the latest version of Rage, a brand new lighting system that hasn't been used in previous titles, and new particle tools for things like explosions and glass. That's actually pretty cool. I believe it'll still have a performance and fidelity mode, but yes, it'll be more advanced than any title Rockstar has released to date. Continue on, Take-Two says that Grand Theft Auto 6 is completely protected from potential actor strike, because I don't think a lot of people know this. While the recent acting strikes in Hollywood came to an end, the video game industry is actually about to face a similar thing. This VGC article goes on to say SAG-AFTRA has been in negotiations with a number of video game companies for a while, including Activision, EA, Epic, and Take-Two. So far, negotiations have failed. During Take-Two's earnings call on Wednesday, Strauss Zelnick said he was optimistic about reaching an agreement. He said negotiations are expected to resume next week. We're optimistic. We value our talent greatly. And he continued on pretty much saying that in the event that they don't work out just fine, we are completely protected. So apparently that this won't affect GTA 6's development, which is great, because I know that the game is they're still recording, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So that's why I do think it's a little weird that a lot of people think that they're near the finish line. No. There is a lot more work still to go into this game. That's why a lot of Rockstar developers, or at least some I should say, don't believe that this game's going to be out in time next year, and they think 2025 is more realistic. Now, Take-Two Interactive CEO also did recently speak about AI. This is interesting because Rockstar Games actually recently went after a very popular AI tool which was starting to gain steam on Twitch streams and stuff. You saw a lot of Twitch streamers playing around with it, finding it very interesting because it pretty much allowed people to interact with NPCs, and it was completely AI conversations. It was very unique. Now, Strauss Zelnick pretty much talked about the same thing, but talked about it in the sense that maybe we'll see it in the future in an official capacity in maybe Grand Theft Auto 6 or future games. And if it comes in GTA 6, I think it's more likely to be related to the online. He said, when asked about the benefits of AI for the video game industry, Zelnick seemed optimistic about the technology, but caveated by saying that he believes it may be better, but almost certainly will not be faster and cheaper, as he foresees that a race to adopt AI will force Take-Two to make major investments in developing its own. Everyone's working on that. You're a playable character, you're interacting with non-playable characters. The interaction is currently scripted. The non-playable characters are generally not very interesting. You could imagine all the NPCs become really interesting and fun with AI. And again, that's something we'll see in the future. Maybe that does make it into GTA Online 2 or whatever it's going to be called. Again, have Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick saying that they are in a growth mode right now in the wake of GTA 6's announcement. We feel good about how we're structured now. We've already gotten through the right sizing. We felt we needed to. We expect to be in growth mode going forward. Take-Two knows they're going to make a lot of money. Their stock has already been skyrocketing the last couple of days. That's because the excitement, the investors, the player, everybody knows that this is going to be a major moment, not just for the gaming world, but the investing world as well, the financial world. Now, for those who have been worried about a delay, we have not gotten that yet. Take-Two shares optimistic GTA 6 release update amid trailer announcement. And during the call, Zelnick reiterated that 2024 and 2025 will bring about a huge amount of money and are optimistic about the game it has in its pipeline, which isn't just GTA 6. Zelnick had previously pointed to the fiscal 2025 predictions when asked point blank about GTA 6's release date. Now, Zelnick also did a recent interview with GamesIndustry.biz, and he talked about them claiming victory. With player expectations clearly high, we asked Take-Two Strauss Zelnick what he expects from the upcoming blockbuster. We don't tend to set particular expectations for any future releases. Our job is to be the most creative, the most innovative, and the most efficient entertainment company in the world. It's just marketing speak. You guys know what I mean by that. These companies love to talk themselves up. It's a result of that strategy and the extraordinary effort of our creative team that has led us now to become the #2 pure play interactive entertainment company on Earth. So we stay away from claiming victory until it's occurred, but we're super optimistic about the company's lineup across the board. And then Take-Two also reported that its GTA Plus membership program continues to grow, and that's only going to continue to grow with GTA 6 because we know that's going to be getting even more features that are locked behind that, and even more players, especially at launch, especially those new GTA Online players. There's probably going to be millions of them, are going to want to have that little boost, and Rockstar is certainly going to give it to them. We'll see how far they go with that GTA Plus, but I've voiced my concerns in the past, especially in regards to how far they will go with monetization, which definitely seems like it's going to be a focus. But another very big thing that the Grand Theft Auto community has been doing is taking those 2022 leaks and trying to map it together. This is actually a mapping project. This is what the current map looks like to what the Grand Theft Auto community thinks it is based on the evidence, all those videos, putting things together. Again, GTA 5's original mapping project was actually very close to the final version. Red Dead 2, we didn't really need to do that because of the fact that the entire map leaked before I think the game even was announced. But this is a very interesting, it does look like, again, looks like it's going to be a massive game, a massive map to explore, and that's why I do think these surrounding areas are going to be very interesting, not necessarily just because I don't think by vehicle we'll be exploring them, but I think more so in terms of traveling by foot and stuff and doing certain activities, like in Red Dead 2 in some ways. And then, yeah, this is what I mean. It's just extensive work, and it shows that based on what the GTA community has put together, this looks like it's going to be a massive map. Now, in regards to GTA 6 and those leaks, we did get this. Somebody who dug deeper into the footage, and they found some very interesting tidbits, which could indicate some of the innovation that's come into the game. We've talked about some of it in the past, but here it is furthermore. An AI debug menu in the game which revealed an existing array of potential changes in game mechanics. There's about 200 different presets included in the debug menu. First one is procedural motion. With the recently discovered patent, we talked about that in the last video, we know Rockstar is potentially making changes to the locomotion and animation system for GTA 6. The term procedural indicates a shift towards dynamic and adaptable character movements, aligning with the patent's description of building blocks of diverse animations that react to in-game conditions. And then emotional logo requests. Characters displaying emotion through their locomotion can add depth to storytelling and make interactions more relatable and engaging. This also matches the idea of using building blocks for the locomotion system. You can see this in action where Jason seems to be running away, almost stumbling, clearly threatened by something. And I think that that's making these interactions or these certain just basic things that we do in the open world a little bit more meaningful. And I believe we see some of that within Red Dead 2 with how Arthur's running around with mud on his back and stuff like that. And they also mentioned how the facial expressions, gestures, going to be more realistic in this game, and I think that's a given, especially with the technology that was in Red Dead 2, which looked fantastic, and it's only going to look better. Again, this game's going to be coming out 6 or 7 years after Red Dead 2. Can only imagine the further steps Rockstar is going to make with their engine. Animal intelligence suggests a potential focus on making in-game animals more intelligent, which could improve wildlife behavior, hunting, and environmental immersion. We might see animals more similar to Red Dead 2, and I think that's a given. Taming hints at possibility of allowing players to form bonds with and utilize animals, changing the dynamic of gameplay. I saw some people saying that this could be maybe something less horror force, maybe dogs and cats. That's an interesting one. Flocking might suggest the introduction of flocking behaviors in animals and crowds for added realism. Horse avoidance hints at the introduction of horses in GTA 6. Interesting fact is that GTA 5 was, I believe, supposed to have horses, but it was one of those things that was cut later on in the game's development. AI memory potentially implies a more advanced AI memory system where NPCs remember players' actions and decisions, influencing their responses and interactions. Greet sounds like the greet/antagonize system from Red Dead 2, and it might be returning for GTA 6. And I think that's probably a given. I think that was a very popular system, and it worked well, and I think that it can be expanded further to make Jason and Lucia, the interactions we have with NPCs, very meaningful. And it's just a lot better of a system than we've had in really most open world games in the past. Faction suggests the expansion of the faction system from San Andreas, making gang wars, alliances, and territorial conflicts more central to the game's narrative, and I don't know about that one. This is just a conclusion that this user's making. I don't believe we're going to be getting that, but we'll see what happens. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say more. Combat style might imply the introduction to diverse combat styles for AI characters, making combat encounters more diverse and challenging. NPCs could have different styles depending on their role or group, could also mean different fighting styles similar to San Andreas, and I actually think that could be something very cool. Dynamic map scenes suggest dynamic map scenes that change over time due to players' actions or story progression, introducing evolving environments and mission opportunities. And that's actually something I would love to see come back. I remember those older GTA games, you'd have certain parts of the map blocked off. I always kind of hated it, but nowadays when I think about it, I kind of wish we had more of that, just unlocking certain sections of a map and then seeing the world evolve is something that's really key, and in Red Dead 2 we got a little bit of a taste of that. You can look to Valentine, you can see buildings being built up, stuff like that's just really cool to me, and seeing that in a bigger capacity related to a city, an open world, very cool. We'll see if what Rockstar can do, especially with the current technology at their hands. A relationship could mean a lot of different things, but wanted to add this because it sounds interesting. Probably won't mean the return of relationship mechanic from San Andreas, since Jason and Lucy are theorized to already be a couple. And the relationship things could just be related to characters and how they interact with each other, but also could be related to what we talked about in my last video, another discovery in these recent leaks, which indicates that based on our actions, maybe within the story, how Lucia and Jason's relationship evolves could impact where the story goes, and maybe how things, the endings we could get. Now finally, players' special abilities most likely indicates the return of special abilities for the main characters, just like we had in GTA 5, and I feel like this is almost confirmed. Even in some of that leaked footage, we could see one scene in which Jason was like scoping out a potential robbery. And one of the things that I do know about GTA 6 is it's a lot of smaller scale stuff, smaller heists and stuff like that. So seeing Jason being able to scope out a heist, seeing the, certain things that are notable for a robbery, like the jewelry that he wants to take, the cash or the cameras, I think that's maybe what his special ability could be, or at least one of them. Very interesting how far they could go with this system, especially in regards to special abilities. And I'm not sure what Lucia could be. That's an interesting one. We have heard from prior leaks she's going to be more of the hacker, so maybe that's something that they explore. Maybe that's her role in some of these heists. Be very interesting. Again, they are a Bonnie and Clyde duo, so I feel like their special abilities would be really focused around robberies and stuff like that, but I could be wrong. Right now, we are learning a lot about Grand Theft Auto 6. We're going to learn a lot more in about a month, so make sure you are subscribed. I'm going to be covering all of this GTA 6 news, anything, everything I will have covered. Obviously, I'm not going to have daily uploads. There's no reason for that right now, but once we start to get to that, I guess you could say the end game phase, once the trailer premieres, going to have it all here on the channel. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Also leave your thoughts on the topics that we discussed down in the comment section below. And thank you for watching. See you later.